Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with the Nostalgia Critic, and today, well, we actually got ourselves a little Christmas classic for most of us. It's Home Alone. The first one, by the way. He's actually done 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think he's actually covered them all at this point now. I think he started with 3, did 2, then 4, 5, and now the one that started it all. So, here we go. Let's take a look back at the first Home Alone. Was it worth all the hype? Let's check it out. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's check it out.
This episode brought to you by Chime, the award-winning app and debit card that can save you money today.
Here we go. I need a drink. Here we go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic.
Hey, Critic, how you doing?
Remember, so you don't have to. Why, doth it be December? I better change.
Well, it's tomorrow, but... Is that just meaning double? Woohoo!
Yeah, close, but totally off. Play the thing.
It's just like, wrong shirt, but there you go. There it is, Home Alone.
Well, I've talked about all the bad Home Alone movies. Might as well talk about the only good one. The truth is, I'm so hard on the sequels because I really do greatly enjoy the original film. Even if back in 1990, it didn't exactly get the best reviews. The response among critics was mixed, as many saw it as unbalanced between mean-spirited and cornily gimmicky. I disagree, but I can't say I don't know where they're coming from. This film does a lot of things that should not work, as proven not only by the lame sequels, but also the countless knockoffs that tried similar kid-centered slapstick. It repeats a ton of jokes with few variations, has admittedly several forced cutesy moments, and does go back and forth between being aggressively harsh and aggressively kid-friendly. But I think the atmosphere, freshness of the idea, and genuine joy felt from the people making it balance all those elements out. I totally acknowledge this shouldn't work, but the film has a feel for when you want an aggressive moment, a funny moment, a heartfelt moment, or even a repeated joke. So it feels less uneven and more like you're getting a little bit of everything, which is why so many people watch it around this time of year. It was a huge hit when it came out, it's still enjoyed all over the world, and we're gonna take a look at why.
This will be fun.
So to all the peeps who know the value of just a good plain cheese pizza, let's take a look at the original Home Alone. The film opens in Chicago because writer John Hughes says, I can outmain Stephen King, where we see the McAllister family getting ready for a trip to Paris. One child named Kevin, played by Macaulay Culkin, is feeling particularly overlooked.
Uncle Frank won't let me watch the movie. It's not even rated R. He's just being a jerk.
So I've certainly talked about Culkin's acting in films shortly after this, and again, he was the biggest child star in the world. A lot of things were going on in his life. You can't be too harsh on him. Here, though, he really is pitch perfect. Once in a while, he can be a little too cute and hammy, but I think that's intentional to balance out the more aggressive moments. He has a very distinct way of talking that's not too grown up like Fred Savage in The Wizard, but also not too childish like the Olsen twins in Full House. This allows for a world where you feel for this kid, but acknowledge a slapsticky climax can happen. And Culkin finds the middle ground in his performance to help that world feel like it can exist.
This house is so full of people. It makes me sick. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
When he needs to be hammy for a laugh, he can do it. When he needs to be emotional for a heavier moment, he can do it. All these years later, I still see this as a good performance. With that said...
Fair enough. I mean, I guess here, it's kind of what made him famous, you know? When you talk Macaulay Culkin, you think, oh, that kid from Home Alone. You know? Don't really think about some of the other stuff. Like, 2, yeah, you could definitely see that because, you know, the setting and all that. The others, you can see what happened. And, well, I guess he couldn't let go of that fame because, well, you guys know his story, you know? I mean, I hope he's okay now, but he had a rough life, you know, after Home Alone. Anyway, moving along.
Man, what a family of assholes.
The dope was whining about a suitcase.
Don't you know how to knock phlegm wad?
What am I supposed to do?
Buzz.
Shake his hand and say, congratulations, you're an idiot?
Look what you did, you little jerk.
This film has certainly gotten a lot of flack for making the family too mean, but it helps if you've ever known a bigger family.
Can attest
That's all
sometimes.
to say bigger families are always chaotic, but the holidays, and especially going on a trip, they usually are. Everybody's insecurities and stresses are passed downwards, so it's not surprising some people would get ignored. Chris Columbus even said he thought Kevin was a bit of a brat when he first read the script, but after having his own kids, he realized this is kind of par the course.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I am upstairs, dummy. I don't want any family. Families suck.
It's a house full of people, yet ironically, there's nowhere to unload your stress because everyone is so stressed out. So it comes out like,
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
well, that's nowhere near the harshness of Trout Sniffer, but still pretty rough. But he says a genuinely nice thing at the end.
It's pretty cool that you didn't burn the place down.
Thanks, Buzz.
And if you've ever had an older bully pain in the ass brother, you know what a big deal that is.
Mine was younger.
Notice their creepy neighbor Marley salting the sidewalks, which somehow these kids find a way to make scary.
See that garbage can full of salt? That's where he keeps his victims. The salt turns the bodies into mummies.
Okay, there's 2 movies I want made from this. One, clearly Angels with Filthy Souls, that goes without saying.
Sure.
And the other is this Salt Mummy movie. I don't care if it's another
Salt
Walking Dead spinoff, somebody make this happen! Kevin finally has enough of everybody mocking him, so he attacks Buzz, causing absolute chaos.
Help me out. No, get these passports out of here.
Uh-oh.
I must have seen this movie a million times, and I never noticed Kevin's plane ticket being tossed in the trash.
Oops.
Nobody will have questioned where his ticket was, but they threw that in, and it's appreciated. The same way we appreciate Pete forcing us to form fan theories about how this is the same universe. The explanation
I thought it was like a...
was put in a mental ward and nobody talks about
I thought he was a Weasley.
Kevin's mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, has had enough of his outbursts and sends him upstairs right after a supposed cop, played by Joe Pesci, warns her not to trust anyone this time of year. So she and her husband trust him this time of year and tell him all their security details.
Automatic timers for our lights, locks for our doors. That's about as well as anybody can do these days, right?
I don't know what's more disturbing, how easy it was to get that information or how easy it was to get a cop uniform to get that information. Wait a minute. Bullies? Damn you, convincing spirit Halloween clearance aisle!
You're the only one acting up.
Kevin's told to sleep in the attic as Fuller will join him later.
I don't want to sleep with Fuller. You know about him. He wets the bed. He'll pee all over me.
And according to this show, when he gets older, he might show me other things I don't want to see down there.
Fair enough. Probably one that...
Wishes they'd all disappear, and faster than you can say hello,
ironic twist.
Power goes out, and the family leaves without him.
Did we miss the flight?
No, you just made it. Yeah! Single seats only in coach. Take whatever's free.
On American Airlines? Pfft, isn't their tagline? Hey, at least we're not Spirit.
I think...
You'd be happier.
Are you sure that was a Delta or something?
Kevin
United
walks up to an
Airlines?
empty home filled with nothing but advent calendar colors. Seriously, there was a time when not every Christmas movie looked like this. You could argue this production design was eaten back then to fart out
fair, I
Christmas
think that was like
rom-coms
the,
now. And he thinks he made his family disappear.
Completely helpless.
No, Kevin, you're what the French call les incompétents.
I like his memory of what they said is more exaggerated than how they actually said it. Though not by much.
There are 15 people in this house, and you're the only one who has to make trouble. 15 people in this house. You're the only one who has to make trouble.
Hell, some lines weren't even said.
Kevin, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula.
What?
And you can see why. Even for Buzz, that's a weird insult. So Kevin decides to enjoy the house all to himself.
Yay!
Closer than anybody. Sickening.
They could use some fursuits.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
To make sure he didn't break the little girl's heart, Chris Columbus actually dressed up a little boy to be Buzz's girlfriend. Though that does raise the
God
question,
damn.
if anyone found out who this little boy was, how would that have
Yeah,
impacted
FBI, right there.
Going through all your private stuff. You better come out and pound me.
I also like he keeps announcing what he's doing to the family he still thinks might be there. I like this not only because he's almost checking to see if he's really gonna get away with all this, but also to see if he can taunt them out. Like there is a small part of him that doesn't want to be without them.
Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
He watches violent film noirs, which by God, really look like an old film noir. And he rides his sled down the stairs and out the door. Thank God he teleported from the Hollywood set to Chicago because the way this is lined up, he clearly would not have made it.
Oh yeah, he would have hit the sill, at least that window.
On one block alone. They all told me from their own mouths.
The cop from earlier is revealed to be a burglar named Harry. And
Hi,
with his
Harry.
partner Marv, played by Daniel Stern. They use the information they got from people to break into their homes, starting with Kevin's.
Which way? Go around back down the basement. Come on, follow me.
I give credit that for as silly as this film can get, it can still be a little scary. Kevin doesn't just jump to immediate genius like a lot of knockoff films that followed.
True.
He's legit scared like any boy would be. Thankfully, though, the parents realize they left Kevin home alone and they run down, I'm pretty sure still O'Hara Airport, they're just saying it's France now. And they try calling the cops to have someone check on him as they try to find a flight back.
Has the child ingested any poison and or any other object that has become lodged in his throat?
I don't know. I hope not.
Fun fact, this one take of the donut falling on the phone was
Yeah.
so funny, they had to actually edit around it to make sure
Really?
it matched the other scenes. That's why it randomly cuts back to that donut falling for seemingly no reason. Again, that must have taken more time than what was needed, but everyone I know gets a big laugh out of that detail.
We'll send a policeman.
I mean, you gotta admit, it was pretty crazy. Like, I guess they realized, oh, wait, people are gonna notice that. Like, can you imagine that they didn't, like, cut back before the donut part fell? And they were like, okay, that looked a little weird. So people will know. Oh, yep, they noticed. Whoops. I mean, I'm glad they noticed and decided, well, let's just add that scene in, huh? Which, oops. I wonder how long into the flight they were. Like, they went to the airport, got on the plane, and took off before they realized, oh my god, we lost Kevin. Like, I'm surprised. Like, how long it took them. Like, luckily my family hasn't done that. At least I think. I don't know, they claimed one time they forgot me at a restaurant. It was, like, Mexican, by the way. I was in the bathroom. They, I don't know, supposedly forgot about me. Honestly, I don't know. I still don't know to this day if they were fucking around with me or something. Like, yeesh. Like, I mean, I get with Kevin with, like, I don't know how many people, but yeesh. I'm just saying. You think they would have been like, uh-oh. Anyway.
Over to your house to check on your son.
Kevin is still so scared of the burglars, he doesn't answer the cop at the door.
There's no one home. I'm the counter kids again.
Sounds like Chicago PD.
Yeah.
As Kevin's mother decides to hop from plane to plane, trying to get back as quickly as possible.
I'm not leaving here unless it's on an airplane.
If you want to stay at the airport, maybe we can get you on standby.
Yes. I'll wait.
Scenes like this do show the family does legit care.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine O'Hara, just like Culkin, finds that perfect balance between being funny and genuinely heartfelt.
Somebody pick up.
I love how almost psychotically obsessed she becomes with getting back to her son.
If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself, I am going to get home to my son.
So much so, she completely overlooks Elvis is behind her. No,
That's
that's a theory, man,
Really?
before whatever the hell we think now. All conspiracy theories used to have Elvis in them.
I wash my hair with the Don't Formula shampoo and use cream rinse for that Just Wash Shine.
Oh yeah, this stream.
Culkin has sworn he'll never do again. I don't blame him. And he goes to the store where he runs into Marley. Calm down, I ate who I killed.
Shoplifter!
Kevin runs away with a toothbrush, beginning probably the most intense chase over dental equipment ever.
Whee! Oh! Ow!
Again, Chicago PD. But he gets away, running into Marv and Harry, robbing another house. Or rather, they almost run into him with this reverse shot. When you play that backwards, realizing how well they timed it, that is pretty impressive.
Really?
Christmas.
When Kevin puts together Harry was the cop from the night before, Harry sees his reaction and starts following him.
Why is he going faster?
See, I knew he looked at me weird. Why would he run?
Well, gee, if two guys in a van slowly drove behind me like this,
Yeah, I'd probably run too.
I'd make sure my running legs still work.
Yeah, I'd probably just
They
join.
slip, though, when they think he went into the church, which they don't want to go into due to smoting.
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
I'm Jewish.
I'm Confucianist.
Yeah, moving on.
I like Kevin disguises himself in the nativity, almost like even he thought they would follow him into the church. And later that night, he prepares for their return.
Crafty.
Far-fetched. Clearly, a bozo pool puppet made in seconds is far more believable.
Did it work though? Curious now.
Hello, Douglas.
And there's the commercials. So I gotta admit, the whole planning this, like, I don't know how he like thought that could work, but hey, to each their own, as they say. But what do you guys think? You think it would have worked? Honestly, I mean, now we know those two are bumbling idiots, but here are kind of good. But you know, I think the head trauma that we'll see later. Yeah, you can see where the IQ points went. Anyway, moving along. Oops.
Kevin orders a pizza, and yes, the statue constantly getting knocked over never bills to anything, but I just love nobody ever tells them it got knocked over. And Kevin uses the movie he watched to make it sound like an adult ordered it.
How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Some people make a very good living using clips that way. Isn't that right? I've done other ones that are funny.
True.
Before I pump your guts full of lead.
Ha! Take this stage shooting guy just doing his job. Keep the change for your lifetime of therapy bills.
I'm dreaming.
We once again do the same aftershave joke. They just really wanted a poster, I guess.
True.
And we partake in my personal favorite dialogue of the movie when he goes shopping for groceries.
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
He's at work.
Your brothers and your sisters.
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
Marvin and Harry are still obsessed with why the house seems filled with people, so one of them sneaks around to have, you guessed it, the exact same joke happen again.
10.
Okay, to all the critics who don't like this movie, to some degree you're right, this technically shouldn't be funny. But I think Stern's hilarious reactions and even funnier conversation afterwards just breathes new life into this joke.
I thought I recognized one of their voices. I know I heard that name Snakes before.
I don't know no snakes.
He sounded like a snake.
I just love that he never figure out who real world Snakes is or how Marv knows him.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Apply for Home Alone 7.
Excuse me.
After Kevin's mother gets stranded at one of the many airports she's been to, a polka player, played by John Candy, offers her a ride.
Candy?
I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why I, just polka, 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 polka.
He shot all his scenes in a full 24 hours with no sleep, never complained about it, and it probably goes without saying, but just about all of his and O'Hara's lines were made up on the spot. Which I guess makes sense. This is kind of an SCTV reunion.
Damavuji polka, Kiss Me polka, polka twist.
Well, these are songs.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think the story about leaving the kid at the funeral parlor is the single funniest thing John Candy has ever improvised.
He was there alone all day with a corpse. Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. And I came around, started talking again.
Now that's an Uncle Buck movie I want to see.
I don't know if I want.
Harry eventually put together that Kevin is home alone, and he overhears they're gonna come back later that night.
Shit. That house is the only reason we started working this block in the first place. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
You have a very odd white whale.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin goes to the authorities to tell him about the crime that's about to take place, or he goes to a fake Santa played by that guy from Herman's Head. Enjoy that unlocked memory.
Instead of presents this year, I just want my family back.
Okay.
Well, again, since nobody calls the cops in this town, though, would it really make things better? I'll just hop in this car that really did die on set as it was driving off. This movie has the best worst luck, doesn't it?
No kidding.
Kevin goes to church because we know there's no robbers in there.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
And Columbus had a tricky time getting across to the owners. He wanted it to look nice, but also a little creepy. I think to a lot of kids, church can be a pretty intimidating place, and Columbus wanted that to come across like Kevin is confronting something he's a little afraid of. Which makes sense as he stumbles across Marley, who he, of course, discovers is a really sweet guy.
Merry Christmas.
Prepare to die.
Been a good boy this year?
I think so.
Swear to it?
No.
He says he's there to see his granddaughter sing because he had a falling out with his son.
And I said I didn't care to see him anymore. He said the same. We haven't spoken to each other since.
We don't give each other advice, and when I was younger, my favorite moments were the zany slapstick and funny insults. But now that I'm older, the Marley scenes are by far my favorite. They take what, let's be honest, would be a perfectly serviceable Christmas comedy and turn it into a Christmas classic.
I'm afraid if I call him, he won't talk to me.
Aren't you a little old to be afraid?
You can be a little old for a lot of things. You're never too old to be afraid.
I got a car that'll scare the shit out of you.
Christine.
After he has an...
Fair enough, and I think with the whole kids being scared at church, I mean, you seen the architecture? Like, I mean, I don't know if they... Ugh, sorry, I don't know where I'm going with that, but... I'll be honest, I don't know, I think it's like this murals that you see, and I think with the way they're built sometimes, you can definitely see the scary factor for kids, because it's, an unfamiliar place, it looks creepy, but then again, they never really see horror movies, so, I don't know. Were you guys ever scared of church as a kid? Let me know, because frankly, I got no experience. I mean, sure, was never a fan of church myself, but I don't think I was ever afraid of it. At least I think. I don't know. Like I said, Mary's not good up here. Anyway, moving along.
A nice talk. The kick-ass John Williams music kicks in.
Let's go.
How is it this composer is so good he can make even setting up Micro Machines sound epic? And did I say the grocery store scene was the funniest moment? Oh, I actually said it was the John Candy story. Screw it. Harry getting shot in the balls is the funniest.
Oh yeah, here we go. Open the door! There you go.
Not only is his reaction great, not only is his Yosemite Samming swear words fantastic.
What?
What happened? But this sound design should have gotten an Oscar just for that crotch shot sound effect.
Here we go.
That is a wet crackle crunch, and it is what every crotch shot needs to be spectacular.
To each their own.
Again, it probably goes without saying, but these stunts are both very funny and very impressive. I still don't know if the timing of this was dumb luck or if they legit planned it.
Hard to say. Bonk.
Every trap really looks like it hurts, but it never goes too far in taking us out of the comedy. Except one, and you all know what it is.
Yeah, that. Yikes!
Not since that commercial with the little toenail goblin of people cringe grabbing their feet so hard. His scream, though, is almost like permission from the movie saying, yeah, as he releases that yell, you can release your laughter.
Heads up!
Oh, this can't.
I can't possibly go over every trap. There's just so damn many. But my favorite after the crotch shot is the scene with the spider.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron had to do in silence so he wouldn't scare the spider, and I'm not gonna lie, that might have worked a little better. But this lovingly betrayed look Harry gives to Marv is some of Pesci's best acting.
Marv, what are you doing?
Marv, please don't.
That is a look of my friend, my confidant of so many years. I refuse to believe you're capable of this. There is more heartbreak in that look than when Padme literally says you're breaking my heart.
No kidding.
And that just turns into a Three Stooges bit. It just makes me laugh harder.
Come and get me before I call the police.
You're gonna call the cops. He's not calling from a tree house.
This is 1990. Only rich people have cell phones. Now continue to help me rob the house of these rich people. He cuts the line and makes his way to the next house where Marv and Harry finally get the drop on him.
How the hell?
What I'm gonna do is bite off every one of these little fingers, one at a time.
I think most people know when Pesci said he was gonna bite his fingers off, he did accidentally bite Culkin's finger, leaving a scar.
Did he?
At least we think it was an accident. If I just won an Oscar and I had to return to set where a mini catchphrase machine was the star, I might nip him too. And thankfully, people always discussing that. It distracts folks from the less than stellar look-alike for Marley. Did David Hyde Pierce do stunt work back then? The cops arrest the burglars, and the next day, Kevin's mother finally returns home.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
I think it's important that Kevin should be a little standoffish. It makes the scene feel more real if it's an apology from her.
Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry.
Thankfully, though, he doesn't need much. Again, I really love how well both these two handle the comedy and emotional moments. When you realize just how little they're on screen together, yet you totally buy their love for each other, that's just straight up good acting.
No, I didn't fall asleep in fact.
Even the rest of the family shows up taking the later flight, and they all give Kevin respect for holding down the fort, even getting errands done.
What else did you do while we were away?
Just hung around.
Now literally, I hung the corpses of 5 other burglars that tried to get in this weekend.
God damn!
Are we at George Costanza's favorite scene yet? What's my favorite scene too? Not only is the music amazing, the build-up perfectly timed, the camera work wonderfully composed, but Culkin gives my favorite acting of his from anything. That is the most genuine, joyful, loving look that is 100% believable. It requires no dialogue, just an honest, heartfelt reaction. It's about as perfect a Christmas moment as you can get. Which just makes the follow-up line even funnier.
Kevin, what did you do to my room?
Don't act like I don't know why the Playboys are sticky! And that
there we
is
go.
The original, the classic, the best, Home Alone. I love it for the same reasons you love it, but acknowledge for those who don't, it is understandable. It really is lightning in a bottle that can't be replicated no matter how many times they tried.
They have tried.
Several times before, it probably should have failed. If you were to describe a lot of this film to me, I'm not sure I would see it becoming a Christmas classic. But the movie has a very instinctual feel to it. Like, even though it was hitting beats that wouldn't work in other films, it was doing it in a way that felt humorously purposeful. I think a lot of that comes from the amazing cast. I mean, everybody is top-notch in this. The elegant directing, the balanced writing, the beautiful music, and the lack of assumption. Nobody really expected anything big from this when it came out. So I think the fact that so much effort did come across on screen was a welcome surprise. It took the world by storm, and it's not that hard to see why. It's funny, it's touching, it's memorable, and it knows how to represent Christmas without even feeling like it's trying. I've seen it over 1 million times, and I can assure you, I'm gonna see it at least 1 million more.
Won't we all?
I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
See you, critic. Can't go wrong. Had to go there. There you go, Home Alone. And honestly, I kind of agree with Critic. It's definitely those things that they try to replicate, but, well, they couldn't. Like, they didn't know it was going to be a big hit, so they tried at least the best to work with what they got. And the action, it just, goddamn. And you definitely got some genuine laughs, genuine felts, and, well, I don't think it was able to redo it. I think the second got close, but, what are you gonna do? Well, let me know your thoughts on Home Alone. You enjoy it? Not? Let me know. Till next time, adios.